3 Kilobytes would like to thank G2PO and GamersGate for this review copy of this game. Make your next video game purchase at GamersGate.com.
Gotta get out of here!
The Lord judges.
Thanks!
I act.
I'm not letting you take her, you hear me?
What do you got there?
Spugato! Scatto!
Hey, is that BioShock putty?
No, it's this is a cube. I'm Mike.
And I'm Jay.
And today we're reviewing the epic, the awesome, the sexually deprived BioShock Infinite review.
It kind of is sexually deprived because you think you want to do her, but you shouldn't. So BioShock Infinite is a first-person shooter, RPG elements sprinkled on top.
Yep, and this takes place in the lovely city of Columbia, in the air, in 1912, before the BioShock games. So I guess you could call it a prequel because of the setting. BioShock, when you're underwater, you're kind of contained in this area. You can't get out, but this is the complete opposite. It's all open.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
You might look at it in the beginning and go, it seems like a cheap gimmick. Like, now they're in the air?
Right.
Holy shit.
No. You play as Booker DeWitt, and he's this guy hired to save this girl, Elizabeth, who's been trapped in Colombia for 12 years.
Yeah.
And you don't know what the hell Colombia is. And remember the way BioShock started, where you're on, like, you know, the plane crashes in the ocean, you find the lighthouse? Well, it kind of does the same thing here. But you're on a boat, and you're approaching a lighthouse, and instead of going underwater, you go up the opposite direction, and just that is mind-blowing.
Yeah,
Just
it's pretty
the
epic.
countdown, 3, 2, 1, hallelujah. And it shows, and right at that moment, you realize, what am I playing here? This is a game that you just can't forget. Like, after you play this game, you'll be talking about it for years to come. People will be comparing it to other masterpieces. What was that, a pebble?
I just broke my hoodie.
I did that at PAX, my zipper on my jacket.
When you go up to the city of Columbia, you'll never see anything like this in a video game. It's so well written and pulled off that it's just, you don't realize you're playing a game anymore. You're in the story. It's that good.
The music, you just quickly discover that religion is strong in this world. There's strong racism. These people are fighting to keep their land pure.
You okay there?
There's no blacks allowed in certain areas. There's no Irish allowed in certain areas. And like, you see bathrooms that say like Irish and black only, and you go into it and it's all crap. And just the world that they created is breathtaking. There's music from almost every decade in this, and you'll find out why later. Graphically, this is a benchmark in gaming. The art design reminds me of a Disney movie.
Yeah.
It really does. The way Elizabeth is, her features and everyone, it's not like realistic, it's more cartoony, but I really like the art design in here.
I love it.
And it's beautiful. Sometimes you just stop and you just have these moments of awe. You're just looking around and you kind of contemplate where you are, who you're talking to, or who's singing next to you.
I'm really stuck in this hoodie.
You gotta stay in there. But I like the hummingbirds.
You know what? You can nitpick about this game all you want. We had this huge discussion about this, but everything that's good about it crushes all of the little nitpicking that you can come up with.
Right, you learn to forget all that stupid shit.
So graphically, it's perfect. There's absolutely nothing they can change to make this look better. Even if this was on PS4 or Xbox 720, the interaction with Elizabeth, and that goes into gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best friendly AI I've seen ever in a game, where the friendly AI, Elizabeth, actually helps you in the game, and she doesn't get in your way and your line of fire. She's always handing you health, money. She finds lockpicks for you when you miss them. And that's another thing. You always want to go to every section in BioShock and find this gear and find these things that are going to help you.
Acting on Elizabeth,
Yes.
on her face, the emotion. When you go
Yes.
up to her, there's moments where you can go up to her and she does like, sort of like, get away from me.
Yeah.
She does all sorts of things where she like looks at you through the corner of her eye and you know what she's thinking.
And the
it's
voice
real.
actors are amazing. You, the main character, and Elizabeth, and they were actually encouraged to be part of the story process of writing the story, which is I never heard before. That's amazing that they get voice actors involved. The vigors that give you the powers that you remember from BioShock. You can shoot electricity again, and to keep your magic ability or whatever you want to call it up, you have to eat salts. And Elizabeth passes salts to you as well. There's also gear perks in this too. So you can wear pants that when you land down from a sky hook, you can like basically burn everyone around you.
You know, we'll give one away. One of them is a crow vigor.
Yeah.
And you drink it, and he gets this ability that actually shoots a murder of crows. Also cool is the vigors have two abilities. One is a simple push of the button that sends the vigor out, or you can actually set traps with most of them. Right. So this is something that needed to be in the game. I felt that if these vigors weren't in the game, it would have hurt the game a little bit. Yeah. It actually made the game much better.
In other BioShock games, they always had the audio logs where you pick up and listen to. And the other BioShock games, I didn't really find them that interesting. This one, I got excited every time I found an audio log. I listened to that all the way. Sometimes I listened to them twice. There's also secondary objectives in this, so there is a replay value. And they're actually challenging, like you have to decipher codes and find a certain key that's hidden in a nook or a cranny. Another thing to mention is there's hidden everywhere in the game is infusion, and this increases your health, your armor, so your health capacity, your armor capacity, which is like a yellow shield that goes around you when you first get hit, and your salt capacity, how much salt you can hold in your system.
So gameplay-wise, I could technically nitpick something here, and I'm going to bring it up because it bothered me. When she tosses you things in the game, like money, or vigors, or ammo, you actually go into this sort of real-time event where you spin around and face her and she throws it to you. There's one little issue I have with that is, when you're getting fired at, you can just push the blue button and all of a sudden you become invincible. That took away from the gameplay a little bit, and it was kind of like a cheap way of me just surviving that moment. This is just little nitpicking. And overall, it doesn't even affect the score.
You push up on the D-pad. It tells you where you're supposed to go, where your next objective is.
It is confusing as shit.
You're saying that. So, but that's nothing. And another amazing thing that they added to the BioShock franchise is the skyhook. The skyhook acts as two things. One is it's a melee weapon, and an awesome one at that. You can tear guys to shreds with it. And two, there's a skyline system all over Columbia. And it adds a whole new aspect to the gameplay where you can basically swing around, slide anywhere you want, come down and punish someone, but you can actually slow down, speed up, and reverse. I didn't know that. I thought you could just keep looping around until you find something. I'm going to play the game all over again because I feel like I could have used that system way better than I actually did.
It's so perfectly executed in this game that I mean, I'll be baffled if the next Call of Duty does not use this.
Or something like it, yeah. It's scary when you see, like, a handyman. There's these big guys, like, they're basically a body and a robot, huge mech body. And when you see them, and if you're playing on medium or hard, you're like, oh, fuck. And we should mention that the main villain in this is the Prophet, and he kind of acts as the Andrew Ryan of this world.
As you go through the game, weirder and weirder bad guys are showing up.
Thinking about this game as a whole, I'm so glad that they took out the multiplayer because I heard the multiplayer wasn't up to snuff. I wish they did this in Tomb Raider. So I appreciate that the developers looked at it and go, you know what, it's not feeling right, let's take it out. Very well done. And also, I think this game is going to be compared to a lot of next-gen games to come. Well, what about BioShock Infinite and Red Dead Redemption and games like that? I think that's part of the same league now. I was thinking about it as a reviewer. I look at a game and I'm always nitpicking at certain things with the game. Always trying to find something that's wrong with it. In this, I found little things that are wrong with it, but then I asked myself, you know, Mike, you know, by the end of this, you're almost crying, and you were so captivated with the story, you couldn't play, and stayed up for an entire night just to finish to find out what happens next. Not many things can do that to me. That hasn't happened to me with a book, a movie, and it just shows you how powerful this genre can be, video games that is. I gotta give BioShock Infinite a 10 out of 10. A perfect 10 out of 10. I love this game. I highly recommend it. It's for anyone. Even people who don't like video games should just watch someone who does like video games play this.
I got you a blue cube.
Thank you. And the music's amazing too. I love the sound, the music. I thought the weapons are cool. It had the sniper rifle, shotguns, but it's all about the vigors and those powers.
Sometimes we're faced with nitpicking. In the gameplay, she throws you weapons, and while you're actually grabbing those weapons, you're invincible. I think I should be going behind cover when I'm being shot at to get whatever she's tossing at me. I thought about that long and hard, long and stiff and swift.
We know how that feels.
And then I kept playing the game. Something happens, and you just go, and as a reviewer, I can look at those little nitpicking things and go, the overall experience is a 10 out of 10. It is a perfect game.
I think what you do is you go, yeah, there's those little nitpick things. Then you go, wait a minute. What other game does this stuff better than this? I believe in my heart that this is the best BioShock game because I never seen a third part of a trilogy explain the first two parts like this one does.
I'm baffled.
I'm baffled. A battery's about to die.
BIOSHOCK!
Ah, the vigor! How about cum vigor?
How about...
PC, all games... Sorry. On the P... Fuck that. The art design...
kilobytes.